What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this episode of Latest on Sports Podcast. Today, we've got another special guest for you guys, Jason Ferris out of Montana Western. Jason, how are you doing?
Good, how about you?
We're doing real well. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on our podcast. Obviously, we know it's a busy time after the draft, so we appreciate you just finding a little bit of time to come talk with us.
You bet.
All right, so we'll just get it kicked off with our first question. What was the recruitment process like coming out of high school for you? Obviously, you had a very productive high school career. You went to 3 straight Class A championships and won 2 of them. So, what was that recruitment process like coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school, I wasn't recruited by anybody else except for Western. So when I was coming out of high school, I didn't really think that I wanted to go to college at Western, and B.J. Robertson was the coach there, and he had talked to me a little bit, and he offered me a half scholarship going into my senior season, and then after I had played my senior season the week of the state championship, he had extended the offer to full, and that's kind of what made me really start thinking about Western, so I ended up going there so that I could continue playing football.
Yeah, good deal.
Of course. So with your 2-time All-American, 119 tackles, how are you so productive at Western?
What's that?
I just said how were you so productive at Western? Like, what made you stand out?
I just say I just try to get to the ball on every single play. I feel like that's kind of how I got to such high tackle numbers, and how I got noticed was just being able to be around the ball all the time, and yeah.
Yeah, and what is that? Just what kept you on the field at Western? Just your hard-working attitude, I guess.
Yeah, I ended up my freshman year. The first 2 games I didn't start. Another kid was starting, but I was able to move into the starting job because I was a little bit faster and was able to cover sideline to sideline. So that's kind of what made me be able to move into that position and then continue being able to make plays from there.
For sure. So with your outstanding production at Western, was there at any point, did you ever consider transferring to like a larger school like a UM or MSU, granted that you were an All-American in your junior season?
It had crossed my mind at one point, kind of going into my junior year, and then at that point I made the decision didn't have any interest in going anywhere else. I just love Western and love being a dog and just wouldn't have had it any other way, so I just wanted to stay at Western.
Did you have any family that was Western fans, or was it just UM fans or MSU? Was there anything that might have drawn you to other schools, or was there a reason that you just stuck with Western?
A lot of my family is MSU fans. My sister played for MSU and stuff like that. But no, I'd say the reason why you just become so loyal to the Dogs is just the all-around community and being able, or just the support that you get from the whole entire community, the whole entire school, and are just really tight-knit down here at Western. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't want to leave. It was my home, and they even made it more of my home, so I didn't want to leave it.
For sure. So what was your reaction when you found out you were a finalist for the Cliff Harris Award?
It was pretty exciting. My junior year, I had just made it to the voting and stuff like that, and then then my senior year, me and another kid had tied for vote leaders in the NAI, so to be the true finalist of it was super exciting and such an honor, because it's a cool award to be a part of, being noticed from a small school, and so it's cool to compete for an award like that with other small school guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, when you're growing up, every little boy's dream is to be in the NFL. So, at what point for you did the NFL seem like an actual possibility? Because, everyone's goal is to make it to the NFL, but, sometimes that's not always possible. So, at what point for you did it seem like, this was a route that you could actually take?
I had kind of, after just kind of not being recruited and not getting a Division I offer and going Western and playing at a smaller school, you kind of put the dream to bed there and kind of accept that you might not make it. And halfway through my junior year, Steve Barkowski, who had played for the Falcons, had been watching our games, and he came up to me about halfway through the season and said, if you want to continue playing football, you have a pretty good chance. And so that was the point that I was kind of, when I realized that I could have a shot at playing more.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so moving on, what was the process like leading up to the draft? What events did you attend, stuff like that?
Well, I had gone over to Bozeman, to the pit. Dane Fletcher, who played at MSU and the Patriots, has a training facility over there where one of his trainers puts on pro day training for us. And so we had trained over there for our pro day, and then kind of right before the state shut down, we had to throw together an emergency pro day. And so we did that, and it ended up working pretty good for all of us because we were one of the few schools that actually got to do their pro day before the whole virus had shut everything down.
Yeah. So how valuable do you think that pro day was for you? Do you think that kind of helped your draft stock out a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, because when I was talking to scouts all last fall and into this year, they were all really concerned about my weight and if I would be able to be 220 or 225 pounds and be able to keep the speed and kind of all that. And so with that pro day, I was able to show that I could get up to 230, 235 pounds and still be able to have the same speed that I did. So it was really valuable for me to be able to get those numbers out there.
Yeah, for sure. So, on the topic of your draft status, where did you think you were going to go in the draft? Did you think you were going to go, like, maybe day 2? Did you anticipate you were going to go maybe 6th, 7th round? Or did you kind of know going into it you were going to go undrafted? Where did you think that you were going to fall in the draft?
Kind of going into it, I would have expected that I would have just kind of got an invite to a camp. And then as we got closer, a couple teams had got some draft day info on me on how to get a hold of me. So that was kind of when I was like, oh man, this could be drafted, or I didn't know if they were just getting my info for to get a hold of me after the draft to sign me. And so on the Friday of the draft, me and my agent knew that Saturday would be the day. So the later days, or on Saturday, was when teams would be contacting us. And so we talked on Friday night, and he said, there's teams will probably be calling you or me, and then it'll kind of, once the draft gets over, it'll be a mad dash for teams trying to sign guys as fast as they can, and we'll kind of have to take the first opportunity. And it ended up not playing out like that at all for us. We didn't get any calls throughout the draft, and it was dead silent all day. And when about 45 minutes after the draft got over, he had called me and told me, well, it was a tough year for small school guys, just with everything going on, and we'll try to get you into a camp. And he said, we're still waiting on one GM from Carolina. Then he gave me a call back 5 minutes later and said that I was going to Carolina.
That's awesome.
So did you kind of, like, coming into this, was there, like, a group of teams that you kind of thought had targeted you? Like, did you kind of know what teams you had a shot of either getting signed or drafted for?
Yeah, I mean, throughout last fall, 16 teams had actually stopped by the campus here at Dillon and talked to me, and then a couple more had reached out just as phone calls, and then, like I said, I might just get invited to a camp, and that's when I think the Chargers and the Colts and the Seahawks all got my draft day information. So I kind of figured that I was going to end up there just with them most recently talking to me, and then Carolina I actually hadn't talked to since right at the beginning of the football season last year. They were one of the first teams that I talked to and hadn't heard from them since. So it was a little surprising, but excited about it.
Yeah, well, coming from a group of Colts and Seahawks fans, we're kind of bummed out they didn't get you, but still awesome opportunity in Carolina. But so leading off of that, how are you going to adapt coming from a small football program in Montana to, a program the largest stage in the entire country in North Carolina? How's that how's that transition gonna work for you?
Oh, it's definitely going to be crazy. It'll be a way bigger town, a lot warmer, a lot more humid, and obviously a lot more competition, a lot higher level, and so it's definitely going to change, but just going to try to go in and work as hard as I can to earn a spot.
Absolutely.
Okay, so wrapping up, what is the best lessons you've learned while at Western?
I just to say, just compete at everything. I wanted to win everything, win every drill, whether it was winter conditioning, off-season drill of doing an L drill against another guy, and I would always try to get in with the faster guys, and just kind of prove myself, or whether it was a random activity during fall camp that had really nothing to do with football. You just try to win every drill, and that's what the same mentality that I'm going to go into Carolina with, is just always compete at everything I do and try to win at everything.
Yeah, for sure. So to finish it off, is there, one thing or something that you can say to those guys who are under-recruited, maybe coming out of high school, or those underdog guys? What have you got to say to them to kind of help them keep their dream alive?
I mean, if you're good enough, they will find you. So just keep working. Don't think that because you're at a smaller school, you're not going to get a shot, because they will find you and they'll give you a chance. And so just always keep working.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to come talk with us. Obviously, you've got, the whole state rooting for you in Carolina. So just go in there, we're all rooting for you. So, just thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come talk with us.
Yep, anytime. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
So that was a fun interview. Yeah, for sure.
Just so you guys know, we will try to get some more interviews, but most likely that will be the last one, just because players are trying to go to their teams and get ready with playbooks and all that. So that's gonna basically wrap up our whole draft this year.
Yeah, which is
we put out a lot of content. Yeah, so hopefully you guys like it.
Hours and hours of content about the draft, and like Tyler said, this is probably gonna be our last interview for a while. I mean, everyone's going to work, getting ready for training camp. Assuming this virus stuff allows them to, but with all the sports canceled, the NBA gone. If that returns, we'll probably make some videos about that. But,
yeah.
I mean, there's just not a whole lot to talk about right now, so we're gonna try to put out as much content as we can. But
interview with Flight.
Yeah, let's get Flight on there. But still, that was a fun interview with Jason Ferris. If you're a Panthers fan, get ready to hopefully see him on special teams and in the preseason.
For
because,
sure, preseason.
Both of us being Montana people, we kind of know the attitude of Montana players. They're nitty. They want to go get it. Yeah, they don't care where they are. They just want to get jobs. So be excited for him to be a role player for you guys on fourth down and kickoff and return. Maybe work his way up to play linebacker for your new defense. But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, bring back NCAA, because that needs to happen.
And one last thing, a player that we interviewed, our very first player, Elijah Halliburton, he did not get drafted, and we are just still hoping that he gets a chance at NFL. We shout out to him.
I still think it's ludicrous that nobody has picked him up. I don't get how you lead the FBS in tackles, and you don't get a job even to come on and
I know it's tough. He'd be such a great special teamer, but
for sure.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. That was Jason Ferris. Linebacker from Western.
Fun interview. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you later.